Welcome to this midday market mood check with me, Nandita, Khemka, and my colleague Yatin Mota. Well, Yatin, what started out as a very flattish session has actually led to a sell-off coming in the markets with the Nifty down somewhere around nearly about 100 points in today's session, trading around that 17,650 mark now, and the Sensex was down somewhere around 300 odd points. All the sectors are trading in the red as we speak. Metals as a basket was holding out given the very positive report from Jefferies that has said that the underperformance of the Indian metal pack against its global peers actually presents a buying opportunity for metals, and it had picked Tata Steel and Hindalco as its top buys. So that was holding out, but even that has succumbed to selling pressure. Aside of that, all sectors in red, as I said, autos were among the biggest laggards when I checked last. And if you look at the top Nifty movers, some of the stocks are still holding out. Talk about Airtel. CLSA has come out with a report on Airtel. It sees a 31% upside on stock given its recent tariff hikes. In fact, we had Airtel CEO also coming and saying that there will be some more tariff hikes in the mid 2023, and Airtel, in fact, CLSA believes that that could add somewhere around 3% to its R2 growth. So on the back of that, Airtel was among the top Nifty gainers. But on the losing side, we have Adani twins, Adani Enterprises and Adani Ports that has snapped a 6-day gaining streak, right? And aside of that, Reliance, ITC, all of these heavyweights were also on the losing side today. Tell me, Yatin, what is happening with the Adani basket? Some news flow coming in last evening as well with Adani Enterprises back in the ASM framework for the short term at least.
Yeah, so you know the news flow in Adani Group stocks is never ending. Be it the exchanges, be it regulators, be it general news flows. Obviously, the advice that most of them are giving is to stay away from the volatility of Adani Group stocks. Obviously, yesterday the exchanges put Adani Group stocks in the ASM framework. Also, there was news that Adani Group has prepaid or rather paid the entire $500 million revolving facility on the credit side. So, a lot of news flows. A few days back, they had released the entire pledged shares. So, loan against shares were paid off. But clearly, Adani Group stocks, the volatility continues to remain there. But if you look at the markets today, after a week open, the fall is accelerating. All sectors are in the red. Advanced decline ratio on the NSE, however, is almost 1:1 because few of the mid caps and few stocks are holding out. In the mid-cap space, Olectra, Shilpa, Medi, Adani, Total Gas, all of these stocks are gaining anywhere between 5 to 8%. On the flip side, losing side, we have Aptus. That stock is down 5.5% after Chola Mandalam clarified that they are not in talks with Aptus to buy any kind of a stake or look at a takeover of the company. Yesterday, the stock was down 5%. Today, also 5.5% lower. Adani Enterprise, as Nandita was mentioning, that stock is down 5%. Renuka Sugar and Sugar Pack was active yesterday.
Yeah.
Today, there is some profit taking in the entire pack with Renuka Sugar being the top loser
there were
by
reports.
almost 4%.
There were reports yesterday that there may be an increase in sugar exports by 1 million ton, and that was something that had the sugar pack flying in yesterday's session. Of course, today they are coming under profit booking. Some other mid caps in focus. Religare Enterprises arm has Religare Finvest has completed its one-time settlement of somewhere around 2,100 crore rupees with the lenders, and on the back of that, the stock is up somewhere around 7% in trade in a weakish market. On the other hand, Home First, that stock is tanking in trade, after 8.4% worth of equity exchange hands. And there was another block deal, Gokaldas Exports,
Gokaldas.
right? So that stock is declining in
In fact,
trade.
both stocks have been under pressure after the deal happened. Usually, we see that post the block deal, stock sees some buying interest. But I think both of these stocks are now trading below the block price. So that is surprising that there is some sell flow which is coming in all of these stocks.
I also want to mention Sequence Scientific. It had announced an acquisition back in November 2022, and now it has terminated that. In fact, that is not materializing. And on the back of that, that stock was up somewhere around 14% in intraday trade. So that is one stock. Aside of that, Nifty 500 gainer, Shilpa Medicare, Adani. Some of the Adani stocks are still locked in upper circuit. Adani Green, Adani Transmission, Adani Total Gas. So these are some of the gainers. And of course, as we mentioned, Home First, Adani Enterprises, Aptus Value we mentioned, and Sugar Pack coming under pressure. So in the second half of the session, we'll have to see whether or not the sell-off accelerates, given the fact that the global sentiment is pretty subdued. Even yesterday, the Fed chairman has said that higher rates for longer period of time will persist, and now there are fears that the terminal rate may be jacked up to 6%, and that is keeping the global markets on tenterhooks. And that sentiment is also rubbing off on our Indian markets as well. Anything you're picking up from market participants on the road ahead for Nifty for the coming weeks?
I think the market will remain stock specific, and usually to the benefit of our viewers, that March end, after 15th of March, usually we see a lot of unwinding from the HNIs with respect to a lot of portfolio shuffling, tax planning happens. So typically this is a period wherein you will see a lot of block deals, you will see a lot of consolidation, selling, profit taking, adjustments which happen in a lot of mid cap stocks. But yes, there will be stock specific action. The market, obviously, because of the Fed comments, has seen some selling pressure. But look at stock specific action today. Stocks which are hitting the fresh 52-week high, CCL products, and coffee prices are soaring, and probably that helps CCL products sentimentally. That stock is up 3.5%. PNB Housing, NCC, REC, PFC, Petronet, LNG, Cummins India, all of these stocks are hitting fresh 52-week high and are holding in the green despite the market pressure. So yes, stock specific action is here to stay, and because of the margin phenomenon, the market should probably remain range bound at this point in time.
In a very tight range, in fact. It's very difficult to make money in the markets. You can't go short, you can't go long, you don't know what to do. Well, with that, we've come to the end of this midday market mood check. But for more updates and all your other financial updates, stay tuned to Moneycontrol.